I feel a lot more in control of myself, my emotions, my feelings. I think when you're starting out, just everything just overwhelmed me. You know, I didn't know anybody. When I was trying to be somebody else, when I was trying to be a version of what I thought I should be like or behave like, or मुझे ऐसे बात करनी चाहिए, ऐसे heroines बात करती हैं, ऐसे star बात करता है. मैं जब वो करी थी ना तो it was far more difficult for me. By the GDP of this country is not doing as how it should. I don't. You know, whatever. I'm using why is there water crisis in the world? मुझे नहीं पता. But आप मुझसे पूछते हो, फिर मैं को जवाब देती हूँ. Mr. Irfan Khan. You know, he's of course one of the greatest of all times. But when he did a romantic film, he did it his way.
Hello everyone, this is Aina and welcome to Instant Bollywood. Today I am with a woman who's not only had a unique career path, but she's also highlighted a lot of things in the industry and cinema that we needed. Joining me in a conversation is none other than Huma Qureshi. So nice to have you.
Thank you. Likewise.
I'm going to start off asking you about, your entire story of how you kind of started your journey in this career. Was this girl from Delhi who was a little confused about what she's going to do with her life to actually now doing so much of versatile work, right from a Maharani to a Tarla to Gangs to Monica, Oh My Darling. It's like everywhere and done so beautifully. What goes on in your head when you think about that confused girl who didn't know what is going to be her career looking like?
I don't know. I just feel like telling her, hang in there. It's going to work out. I don't know how, but it will. Because that's what I used to tell myself, like when I was in that moment of self-doubt, which everyone goes through. Like nobody knows when you're in school or college what you want to do, how life will pan out, how everything will happen. And just the big life adult decisions seem so hard to navigate. But I just keep telling myself, it's okay, you got this. Just worry about putting one foot in front of the other and one day you'll just reach your destination. And that's what I tell myself even today. There's so many things even now I aspire to do or want to do and I feel like, oh my God, I don't know how that's going to happen. But it will.
Yeah, eventually fall in place. You know, even that story of how you kind of saw your poster after Gangs and you had no clue that ye aisa hone wala hai. Now that you've done so much work and there's so much experience, do you miss that innocence of not knowing something because now you know you have so much to lose?
I think I'm still very innocent in a lot of ways. I work very hard to keep that innocence. I don't want to become jaded or feel like I have all the answers or I know it all. I feel there's death of creativity. So I work very hard to be like, you know, like what is a new way of doing something? That keeps me alive, that keeps me sharp, I think. So do I miss the innocence? I think no. I think today, in fact, I feel a lot more in control of myself, my emotions, my feelings. I think when you're starting out, just everything just overwhelmed me. You know, I didn't know anybody. The first time you're going out, just for example, like you're doing a film and doing promotions like what we're doing right now. Just the physical exhaustion of that coupled with the 20 million things that go behind making it happen, to doing it for the first time, to not knowing what to say, what not to say, you know, it's a lot. It was a lot. Today I feel like, okay, I can do this, I got this, this is home, you know, I'm on home turf and I really am very grateful to being where I am.
No, absolutely. You know, but today also with the kind of work that you've done and the kind of characters you've done, we've often also seen the characters also get glamorized. But today you're doing a show like Maharani where she's completely de-glam, and then you've also done a Gangs and you've also done a Double XL, and they are very authentic to their characters. You are an outsider, and when you came in this industry, did you ever feel like, okay, I'm not being launched in the conventional way? So it takes a lot of confidence to actually be your authentic self on screen, especially. How did that courage come?
I don't know. I don't know. All I do know is that it was far more difficult to pretend to be someone that I was not. You know, it's far easier to be yourself.
Yeah.
When I was trying to be somebody else, when I was trying to be a version of what I thought I should be like or behave like, or मुझे ऐसे बात करनी चाहिए, ऐसे heroines बात करती हैं, ऐसे star बात करता है. मैं जब वो करी थी ना तो it was far more difficult for me.
You tried that? Like,
of course we all try that ना. अभी आप एक middle class घर दिल्ली से आते हो, you don't know how you're supposed to behave. You read magazines or you read newspapers or you watch your favorite stars on an award show and you feel like, oh, I'm supposed to behave like that.
Yeah.
And then you think this is how I ought to behave. Then people also put rubbish in your head or there are these preconceived notions around you. And then I realized that was so much more difficult to be that way. And when you're just yourself, there is no conflict within you. You know, you ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. I want to do something, I'll say yes. I don't want to do something, I'll say no. I'll tell you if I'm tired, I'll tell you if I'm cranky. I'll tell you if I like a script or not. I'll tell you if I really am dying to do something. And you know, you can always say no. I mean, you know, but I feel like to be authentic is just the most natural thing to do. For me. And to be and pretend to be someone is just so hard because half the time I realize I wasn't in the room, I wasn't in the conversation. Like somebody's offering me a film but I'm thinking about something else. You know, somebody's asking me a question in an interview but I'm thinking मुझे ऐसे बात करनी चाहिए, this is who I should be. And I'm like, God, that's so suffocating.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting and suffocating. And I'm like, it's so nice to just be myself. And okay, maybe I'm not so perfect and I don't have all the right answers and I could sound stupid or ignorant or whatever. But ठीक है ना, अब मैं हूँ ऐसी तो क्या कर सकते हैं?
You know, I was actually watching some of your interviews and you were like, क्यों मुझे तंग करना है खामखा? And लोग ऐसे शब्दों का इस्तेमाल नहीं करते interviews में, which is so natural. It's like you're talking to your friend. You have that attitude that live and let live, and that's why, you know, we've not even seen a lot of controversies over the years. But at the same time, unfortunately, not everyone has the let live attitude. And when you joined, you did speak about how some nasty reviews kind of really got to you. Did that ever bog you down or kind of?
Of course, it bogs you down, and people still try and do it. I recently did some interview, and you know, that person asked me a question about something, and I said I don't want to answer it because if I'll answer it, you know, the whole interview will become about that thing. And they were like, no, बताओ ना क्या आपको क्या लगता है? तो मैंने बोल दिया, मतलब ऐसे it's my personal opinion, right? And then of course the whole interview became about that some other thing because it's all clickbait, right? Nobody's interested in actually knowing what I feel or what we are promoting. No, they just want to click on something scandalous because that's what you know, sells. And I'm like, okay, if that's what it is, but at least now what I do is I tell people, I think this is what you're doing. Or somebody will ask me a question, I'm promoting a show called Maharani. Okay, sure, but doesn't make me a political analyst. Doesn't make me a politician. I don't have all the answers to why the GDP of this country is not growing as how it should. I don't. You know, whatever. I'm using why is there water crisis in the world. मुझे नहीं पता. But आप मुझसे पूछते हो, फिर मैं को जवाब देती हूँ, फिर उसको आप एक लेंस देते हो, तो मैं बोल देती हूँ, देखो ये ना, this सवाल is going to get me into trouble. Which is so true to me. Because, you know, and earlier I used to be like, I'll just say no comment, or I'll say, I don't need to change the question, or I'll look at my PR and they'll come and be like, but now I'm just like, क्यों कर रहे हो ये? And I think people also get it, so...
Is there a fear to kind of come across rude or unapproachable at any point if you do that? Because normally, you know how it is, like actors don't be the bad cop.
But is this being a bad cop?
No, it's not. But
because I don't think I don't yell at anybody. I don't scold anyone. I don't think I'm that personality only. But I'll say I think you're trying to get me into trouble. Yeah. So please don't.
Like you said that being authentic self is the most important thing. Probably you started that way back, and even with XXL, you didn't even only act in it, but you were also producing that. It takes courage because it was also giving out a social message. It was also relatable to a lot of women out there. And you and Sonakshi had said that that story was also personal. What was the entire thought and how did that courage come to actually put in the money? And, you know, was it a personal space or was it also a little commercial?
Both. I mean, I can't tell you the number of women that have come to me and said that how much they love the film and how it's changed their lives. And somebody recently, I think, started a small business. You know, and in her interview, she mentioned me, which I thought was so beautiful. You know, and I felt like, oh my God, like I'm actually able to impact even one person, you know, who thinks that society or the world has degraded them because of how they look. And they can actually now start a business and do something with their lives. That makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Of course I'm an actor. I'm all about trying to entertain people. I love fashion. I love doing a comedy film. I love all of those things. But the fact that your work can change somebody, whether it's their day or it's their mood or it's their life or what they do, that is so special. And you may never meet that person again. Like, that is such a beautiful thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
Right? And Double XL was very close to my heart. I'm so happy, like, on the platform that it is. It was a number 6 film for that year that people saw. I would have liked the film to do better theatrically, but it was the time we were just opening up from COVID and none of the films were doing well. And we unfortunately had to release at that time. But to be number 6 on a streaming service for the year means the film has really been loved. And when I travel to the US or wherever, a lot of people tell me that, this is the kind of film our entire family gets together and watches. So for me, like I said, if you make something from the heart and if it's your reality or something that you feel deeply about, it will connect with people.
Yeah.
It will find an audience.
Have you now managed to detach with the trolls that comes when they comment on your fashion or body or whatever?
I don't read them. The time ही नहीं मेरे पास. अभी मैं आपसे इंटरव्यू करूँगी, लंच करना है, फिर 6 और इंटरव्यू है, उसके बाद रात को मेरी एक जूम कॉल है, फिर एक फोटोशूट है, तो मैं कहाँ से ट्रोल का टाइम किसके पास है? I have to live my life. They are sitting villa and commenting on my life.
But at some point, did it ever?
Of course it affects you. Nobody likes to read negativity, no? And the human mind is such a tricky thing. आपको 100 लोगों ने अच्छी बातें बोली होंगी, एक ट्रोल ने कुछ एक खराब बात बोली होगी, आप उसी के बारे में सोचोगे. As human mind, we focus sometimes on the negativity, and I feel like we need to consciously, at least I consciously work against that, saying I'm getting so much love and so much acceptance and so much all of that. Like, I should rejoice in that now, as opposed to that one person said something bad on my feed.
Yeah.
It's okay. उसका खराब दिन चल रहा होगा. उसकी लाइफ अच्छी नहीं चल रही होगी. उसने भड़ास निकाली. आगे बढ़ो.
But it takes time to actually think the way you're thinking.
It's actually quite easy. It's really? Like, it's like a light bulb going on one day in your head. If you think about how these lights work, it's actually years and centuries of science and human efforts. Yeah. But actually, tuck करके on हो जाती है. Correct?
It's quick. Yeah.
So that's what it is. You just have to think of it like that.
Yeah. Even, whenever I've seen you talk about your projects, but it's Maharani, that is one project that gets a different smile and a spark. And this is what I have noticed personally.
Yeah.
Of course, the show has got a lot of love in season 1 and season 2. There is pressure for season 3. But what is something that's special about Maharani for you, which I feel like strongly, correct me if I'm wrong, if that's different from everything that you've done so far?
It's a show that's changed my life.
Yeah, you do say that.
It has changed my life. It has changed how I see myself as an actor. It has changed how other people see me as an actor. It has created all the new 2.0 body of work that I'm doing is thanks to Maharani and thanks to just how the entire team has literally helped me play this character and bring this iconic character to life.
Yeah.
Just the love I get from people in my building to, like when I go out somewhere filming, like I was just telling somebody thodi der pehle, I don't know if you overheard that, I met a man in Darjeeling and he said, like, ma'am, all the films you've done is great, but Maharani, you'll never die. And the way he said you'll never die, for an actor and for an artist, it's like the most beautiful thing somebody can ever say to you.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to live through our work, through posterity. Yeah, it does have a special place in one corner of my heart.
And that's visible so evidently, because every time you talk about it, there's a sense of pride.
11 season बनाएंगे इसके.
Over the years we've seen even the idea of women being soft and delicate and stuff like that. But when we see you and a lot of the women, there's a lot of fierceness that comes. There's a lot of strength, and you feel like she's a strong, independent woman. That's the vibe. Do you feel like still today in the industry we haven't seen men romance these women in the most conventional manner? Are you wanting to do a romantic film?
I'm dying to do a romantic film. I think the day I do a romantic film, it'll be epic. It'll eclipse all other romantic films. But I'll do it my way.
With consent.
With consent. Of course, always with consent. No, but I'll do it my way. I feel like, and not just me, every actor brings a certain amount of uniqueness to whatever part that they perform. My favorite example is of Mr. Irfan Khan. He's, of course, one of the greatest of all times. But when he did a romantic film, he did it his way. Yeah. He was not trying to ape anybody else. He was not trying to like open his arms or sing a song or romance a woman how he's seen other actors do it. He had his own way of doing it, and that is what made it so iconic.
Yeah.
I remember that there was so many popular reels happening of the film Piku, one of my favorite films, where he's just looking at Deepika and being like, "Pagal nahi hu main." There's and just there's a charm that he brings. So I feel like every actor is you have to bring how you would do something. Yeah. Like Monica, I tell Vasan this all the time. I was like, if any other director were to make a film like Monica, and possibly a very unconventional casting for it. You'll try and go for safer options. But because you saw me doing Monica, I saw myself doing Monica. And then we just had so much fun with it. Yeah. So I get a lot of love for Monica even today, and people tell me, oh, only you could have done this. And I'm like, I know, but what is a character on paper? It's a hot secretary that everybody, is falling for. Yeah. And people would, I don't know, go for like a regular vanilla kind of a casting for it. So yeah, and I had to do it my way. Yeah. So it's that.
You don't necessarily like talking about, oh, I faced this and I faced that. Is there a certain intention that you've never positioned yourself like,
I'm not a victim. Yeah, I'm not a victim. I hate these victim stories. Everybody goes through struggle. Everybody works hard. Why is my victimhood so important? Like, I just don't like it. I don't like talking. Of course, everyone struggles. Of course, सबने धक्के खाए हैं. सबको पिक्चरों से निकाला गया है. उनको लगता है उनका काम किसी और को दे दिया. उनको इतने पैसे नहीं मिले. Everybody goes through that journey. But I feel like, why do I want to waste even a moment in my life or a breath of my life talking about it? There's so much more to be grateful about. Look at all the other opportunities I've got, and maybe I didn't get that, but that's okay. Kuch aur milega.
It's like looking at the half glass full.
Always.
And I have to lastly speak about your book and the entire idea of how you thought that superheroes, why are they so perfect? Where did that thought stem from? For you especially, and who has been that superwoman in your life?
My mom, hands down, my mom has to be the superwoman in my life, and she's not perfect. Even though she's my mother, she's close to being perfect, but जब गुस्सा करती तो दिखना चाहिए. No, but I think for sure she's been a huge influence in my life, and I think the fact that you said that, of course, I've seen some very strong women around me who can also be so beautiful and fragile and vulnerable at the same time and not lose their femininity. Yeah. And I think superheroes come in all sizes and packages. And they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to have all the answers. I think as long as you have the willingness to empathize with another human being, that is what really makes you a superhero. Yeah. If you can empathize with another fellow human being and be like, hey, I know what you're going through, and let me try and help you in whatever way I can. As I come. I think that is such a super heroic quality.
Which will be your vulnerable moment or quality? What makes you vulnerable as Huma? Because we've never seen that side.
Of course, you've seen that side
in movies, but not like
in life. Yeah, but you have to know me. I mean, people who know me, my friends and family, and people who are close to me, they see the vulnerable, the goofy, the silly side of me. I am quite childlike in that sense. Yeah. I wear my heart on my sleeve. If I'm upset, I say it. I cry very easily.
You cry easily?
I cry very easily. I'm a rondu now. I can cry right now if I'm upset about something.
I can't tell.
No, it's true. Ask. So Rizvi, my boy, is here. He's been with me for 9 years. Yeah. So the other day he messed up my food, and I was really tired and I was overworked, and he said something, it was not there, whatever, and I started, instead of yelling at him, I started crying. So I said, "Ye ko ye bhi karna hai, kaam bhi kar rahi hu." And then he also started crying. So I was like, "Can you just feed me now?" For both of us.
Cute moment,
Mostly I'm yelling at him, but that one instance I was crying, saying, "Oh, I'm hungry. I have to work also, and nobody feeds me properly also."
Just a long day probably.
हाँ होता है ना मतलब कि why not? I'm also human.
Yeah, absolutely.
इतने सारे इंटरव्यू कराओगे भूख तो लगेगी जैसे अभी लग रही है.
इसके बाद हम sure lunch break करेंगे. Approved. Thank you so much, Huma. It was lovely talking to you. Please,
likewise,
inspire women that you've been doing since so many years, and all the very best for Maharani. I'm sure season 3 is going to live up to season 1 and 2 as well.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you. Lovely chatting with you. Happy
Same
Women's
here.
Day. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Huma Qureshi. Please like, share and subscribe to Instant Bollywood.